Alright, here we go. We're going to try this, see how it works. I have it towards the top where I want it. I have it fluxed real well. Got 5 pieces of solder down in there, which is too many probably, but that's what I put in there. Just slowly rotate the flame around the outside, slowly warm it up. The flux is white, it's wet, it's water in there, so it will bubble up and it'll move your solder all over the place in there, and you have to move it back, just like it just did. And it's really tough to move back, because if you bump, you want to make sure that your titanium pick is nice and clean. When you try to move the solder back, it moves your bezel all over the place, and I have it exactly where I want it, so it's no real picnic with this, but I'm going to heat it up slowly all the way around the outside, and then slowly bring the heat in, a little closer and closer. It's kind of a big piece. I don't have that much heat on it because I don't want to wreck it. So I'm just going to slowly work at it. I don't have the fan on right now so you can hear me. Just keep rotating the heat around, slowly warm it up. When it comes up to temperature, the solder will flow and you'll be good to go. Goes the solder. All done. Just like that. Look around the outside, look for a good meniscus. The meniscus is where the two metals meet. The silver solder needs to have a nice rounded edge there. I can see it right now all the way around. It looks perfect. I'm going to cool it off just a tiny bit. And I'm going to stick it in this acid here, the pickle. Stick it down inside here. It's hot acid. Eats all of the borax flux off of there. Okay, we got it out of the pickle. Now we just solder this little round thing to the top of that. You want to clean your metal really well. Got a little grinder here with some little wheels on there, different colors, different grits. Put it on. Clean it up so I'm good. It's nice and shiny. Do the same thing to this. I already did. Now the tricky part is getting that to stand up on there while you're going to solder it, right? Well, as they say, I got things like this to hold it in place. I'm going to have to pinch that in there, basically set it up there. This will be pinched in them rings and it'll hold it down for me. I have to flux it real good first, put it together, and then solder it. Set it up like this. Got those funny little pliers holding it right where it needs to go. In the center. You can see that bezel I put on for the stone isn't in the center. I did that on purpose. No, I didn't. But it'll work. Alright, let's solder that baby on. Alright, let's do this. You see these pliers here hooked to that ring? They're pulling heat away from the situation there. So the trick is to heat it all up. There's two tiny little pieces of solder right up against the top there and the base of the circle. See how it goes. I am using my big rosebud tip, just because I can. It is kind of a big piece. I don't have it going crazy, so it's just barely coming out of there. It's wavy. I'll slowly warm everything up. Doesn't hurt to warm up the pliers there because they're pulling heat away from the situation here. They're hooked to that. It might be okay if that pliers was down tight to the top of the circle, but it may tip over. I'm just going to try to work it here. Hopefully it will work out. I'm going to give it a little more gas. Hold my flame back, slowly warm it up. I don't want this bezel for the stone to come off. And since it's sterling, I've put borax over the whole thing so I don't get fire scale. But when you put borax up on silver solder, your old silver solders, they'll come loose. It just started bubbling up there. My solder just moved all over the place. It's really tough to move it back. Once it gets hot enough, the borax and flux there will kind of turn clear, and then you'll be able to move some things around. That's what helps about having this pinched right here, because if you have to move your solder closer because it moved, that thing will tip over on you. So keep going around and round and round. Heat the pliers up. It doesn't hurt to work from the back side here, so I stay away from this bezel here for the stone. Just keep warming it up, and eventually the solder will flow. It's a little tricky and a little scary with all the work I've already done. I don't want to screw it up. Just gotta watch the metal. Gotta get used to what it's gonna do. It's getting close here. There goes the solder on one side. Keep the heat on it. There we go. Perfect. Thank you very much. Blow on it and cool it off a little. The pliers is hooked to it and it's pulling heat away. I can see the solder flowed all the way around. Looks beautiful. The solder did not flow into my anchor or into the sterling mark, which is cool. Cool it off a little bit. and drop it in the pickle. Pickle is some acid, Sparex acid. It's hot. Cleans the metal off nice and clean. Now I have to take this bale here and stick it through that circle, pinch it, put a tiny little bit of solder in there and solder it together. Cut the notches in there, take that claw, cut a little bit of the sinew and meat and file down the bone a little bit so it fits up in there, bend the tabs over, I'll be done. Takes about 3 hours once you get it all figured out. Okay, so I got the little bezel through the circle there. Got a little tiny piece of solder, you can see it there sitting in the crack of that there. So I'm going to set you up here in the tripod and see what happens. Could get ugly here, so hang on. Pick off the big tip. I got a number 4 on here. I want to just heat that little area up right there. Little tiny flame, kind of bushy, a little wavy. Look for your solder pick. There it is, right behind you guys. It'd be nice to see even those headlights strap onto your forehead. But we'll get her here. So just want to heat just right up in there. Hope your solder doesn't jump out of there. Slowly heat it and go in for the kill. Don't get too close or you'll melt the bale. Nice to heat up both sides so the solder doesn't jump to one side, it goes to both. There we go. See the solder flowed right in there. I can see it hitting both sides. Looks like it did a good job. Come out of there. Oopsie, where'd you guys go? Right. See right up in there? No, you can't. Right up in the bottom, right up in there is soldered together. Thank you very much. Now you take and put it in the pickle there.